everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Sisters, One Book. I'm Carla.
And I'm Amanda. We are two sisters.
This is getting a little too comfortable, aren't we? We're too comfortable with this opening. I love it.
It's from the Amanda show. When you get a letter.
It is.
I'm Amanda. That's me.
I'm sure growing up, that's what you did all the time, right?
Yeah. All right. Anyways, back to the start. I'm Amanda. We are two sisters, two moms tackling one book at a time.
Oh, we are so close to finishing this book, and I'm not gonna lie, at the end of these chapters, I was like, really? I can't keep going? I would like to keep going. We are so close to finding out that Alyssa was laying on the pea, and this entire story would not have needed to happen if Alyssa had just told someone about the pea that was necessary, like the queen. But you know what? I'm glad she didn't, because we got this really great story to read.
Yeah. It is a very great story to read. I am a little disappointed in the prince's chapter because it was basically the same exact thing as we just read previously before. So I was like, oh, this must be a filler chapter. I was hoping for a little more detail and something a little different. So but that's okay. It still came out really great.
I think the only new information that we got was that we found out the conversation that he had with her guards when she sent them over. And he basically said, like, you need to stop. And they backed off. That was, I think,
Barely.
the
They
only
didn't
added
want
information.
They were like, oh, we don't serve you or we don't listen to you. I was like, excuse you? I would slap you in your face. You in my house. But yeah,
I know.
There was a lot of very interesting chapters, one including Marissa. Kudos to her.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, good. Okay. We see the evil side of her flipping, and we start to see a softer side. So I was proud of Marissa.
I knew she probably did it because she didn't even want the prince marrying her either. But hey, yeah, did what she had to do. So it was good. And then our girl, okay, so before we get too carried away, that was the one thing too, is Marissa and Mathilde. She made it. She's an apprentice for nursing and everything. Good for her. Good for her.
Huge shift. We've seen a huge shift in Mathilde since we first got introduced to her at the very beginning of the story.
Yeah, her character is just, it's evolving. So I love that for her. I love that for her. Like, she's my own best friend, and I'm so happy for her too. So, but yeah, as like we said earlier, we saw the engagement, which we saw that the king already said it. Gosh, why did he have to speak so fast? I don't understand. Like, at all. And I did like the way that our Ava could totally hold herself, because I'm sorry, if stuff like that was going on, you could probably read me like an open book. And the fact that she was keeping her smile on and she was just looking completely calm. I wish I was able to do stuff like that.
Well, and like, can we talk a little bit about this whole thing? Because in the princesses chapter, which we know to be obviously Ava's chapter, we do see kind of a separate side of her. And I'm not at all saying, okay, good for you, Ava, but we do see that she's had a lot of things going on for her. Like, she gave an example of she's always in the shadows, especially behind her brother and his engagement. And now she feels like she's being overshadowed by Alyssa running in, which, let's be honest, I mean, if you didn't lock the girl in your closet, then she probably would have already been there and this wouldn't have been going on. But yeah.
No, she's a little crazy. Another scene to that, which I thought was kind of interesting, and once again, I'm like, that was such a weird part that they threw in there that they didn't have to. It was like the very last few sentences of the old man like saying, oh, she really is such a lovely princess, and then he turns to leave. Like, where the heck did you come from? And why would you throw that in there? Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Well, and I think it also goes to show that Ava is somebody who, she was obviously paying attention to the conversations that were going on around her, but Alyssa's technically not a princess. And you have this prince who's running over to her, clearly showing some type of interest, and he's invested in her. And the people around her, I'm speaking the people around Ava, are making comments about, oh, look at how beautiful that princess is. And it just goes to show more insecurity that's going in and out of Ava, because Ava's like, the attention should be on me. This is supposed to be my engagement. Everybody should be watching me. And yet they're focusing on this girl who's not even a princess. She's a princess companion. And people are mistaking her for being a beautiful princess. And it's just like in the very beginning, everybody thought Alyssa was this beautiful girl and she could have been mistaken for a princess. As we know, the twins had mistaken her for being a princess. And I think it's just kind of feeding more into Ava's insecurities.
Hmm. Yeah. She got herself in a little pickle, but her guards already know. I mean, she motioned something to her guards, and then they all went their own separate ways and
Mm-hmm.
left. And then Alyssa went running out and everything. And I love the
Mm-hmm.
way Max stood in the way, like how you
Yeah.
mentioned. He was like, "No, you're in my house. You listen to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is my kingdom and stuff." So he did
Yeah.
spare her some time. And I thought it was interesting because was Ava going to arrest her? Was Ava going to just have her killed on sight? I know some of the guards are going to go tell the other people what to do. Like, okay, she's engaged. Let's set this stuff in motion. But it's all like, do you really think the prince would allow Ava to arrest Alyssa?
Well, and on what charges? You know what I mean? Because everything that
Touching the
Alyssa
king, touching the prince.
yeah. I mean, everything that Alyssa knows is stuff she can use against Ava, because she found out all of Ava's plans, and there's really nothing for Ava to arrest um Alyssa on, because she hasn't done anything wrong according to the public eye. We just know that Ava wants her gone because she's like, well, she knows my plans. And technically Ava, if anything, has been the one doing stuff, because she had held Alyssa in her closet, bound up, gagged, whatever you want to call it, and Alyssa had to escape. So she was essentially being held prisoner under circumstances that made no sense, because Alyssa found out information that Ava was technically working on the opposite side, on the evil side. But I will say that Ava, again, going back to like her, you know, what she, the her character, let's say, because she talks a lot about how her father trained her well. um so even with this whole situation, it's like Ava wasn't panicking. She's like, okay, guards, like, handle this, like, go over. And the only
Hmm.
thing I could think they were really going to do was maybe escort Alyssa out, and then kind of, I guess, bring her back into the closet wherever she was being held. Or they
Oh,
would have,
no.
or they would have locked her, like they would have taken her back to, I don't know, on horse and carriage away from the castle, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe in my head, and I keep forgetting. Well, I mean, it's not that crazy that a guard just walks up to her and kind of just like, you know, bye bye,
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa type thing. Just like,
Mm-hmm.
just making it a pass through. Maybe he was going to have her arrested, saying she stole something of mine or something happened between us. I don't know. I feel like when you're that high up, you could really say anything and they kind of have to take your word for it, you know?
Yeah. But it does make you
But
wonder, what was their plan? What were they going to do?
I
And I
know
mean,
that's,
they had to get to Alyssa quickly, because at this point, Max was already around her. So she's talking to Max and explaining stuff to Max. So, like, what do you do in that circumstance? What were her guards going to do?
yeah, and now we know they're still looking for her because she hides out in the library, which is like the perfect hideaway and stuff. Max did save her time, so nobody really knew which direction, like the guards didn't know which direction she went into. And I'm pretty sure everybody was either at the ball around this time or like literally doing like their off thing and doing their own thing. So there wasn't really any witnesses to see her going into the library. But
Mm-hmm.
that was a crazy situation in the library too. I forgot. Did it mention how long? Because I know a day has passed, but wasn't she in there for like 3 days, the library?
um,
Or was it only that one day and then
I,
Mathilde
I think,
came?
I think it was mostly for that day, because Max came and he found Alyssa, which I was kind of surprised that he didn't find. I mean, I would have guessed that she would have gone to the library, because that's kind of like their spot. So if she wants Max to find her, obviously going to a spot that you both would have together would be the smartest thing, because nobody else really knows that that was their thing. They would go to the
Yeah.
library and they would read together. So I think Max came, found her, and he told her, just wait here. And that's when he went and got Mathilde and told Mathilde. But I don't know if it was how long it was necessarily. They might have said it, but I don't think it was much longer than at least a few hours in that day. And then when she was in the hospital, she was there for, I think it was up to like 5 days or maybe even a little
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah. Yeah, but that whole plan of sneaking her out was brilliant. Like, I don't think I
Hmm.
would have ever, to be honest, I don't think I would have ever even thought about like to bring in Mathilde to do that, because they
Oh,
like put
yeah.
her in a nurse's costume, a nurse's outfit and everything, and then they put the ball gown inside the laundry bag and on top with books. So I'm wondering, how many books did you bring? Because I don't care. Even if it was like six like books back in the day, these books are big and heavy. They're not like the like little paperback books or whatever. That bag had to have been freaking heavy. Like
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
struggling. What's in there? Clothes, go away.
Yeah. Look
Somebody
out,
threw up.
Yeah. But it
It's
is
a
a good
bed.
disguise because they do blend in. And I think it was Mathilde who said that most of the nobles, and you know, they won't even look twice at a common person. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm too good for you, so I'm just going to keep going. And it was a very smart move because Alyssa, I mean, really, you're not going to be able to get many places in that dress. You look like a princess. A lot of people who were at the ball know, oh, this
They
girl
all
came running
saw.
in.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
she
running
stands
out
out.
as
Yeah,
guards go chasing her.
yeah, she completely stands out. You're going to catch her running in any direction. So, yeah, it was very smart for Max to go to Mathilde, somebody that they know they could trust. And Mathilde happened to be in the perfect situation where she's working in the hospital wing. And she's like, all right, let's get you dressed. Let's make you look like me. And nobody's going to think twice about it because they're not going to associate with somebody who's like a common person.
Yeah. No, it was smart. It was smart to keep your head down, do what you got to do. No one's going to notice you except Marissa. Marissa
Hmm.
just doesn't have any common sense between a nurse and a maid, clearly, because her
Well,
room
and
was a mess.
And even Marissa, I mean, let's be okay, come on. Okay, Marissa, yes, she did help kind of hide Alyssa a little bit more. Like she didn't throw Alyssa under the bus to the guards. But let's be honest, she still had attitude throughout that whole thing. She was like, I am not a ma'am. I am a lady. You will call
Yeah,
me
I
a
loved
lady.
it. I loved it. I loved it. And I loved how she was like shocked. Like, what do you mean was the princess companion? So I don't know if she started to like think something was very curious, because she knows how much the royal family loves her. And two, I wonder though if it was because she didn't want Max to do it. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Never mind. Keep going.
Well, I mean, Alyssa and Marissa both have a common enemy right now. And what do they say? Like, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. And
Yeah.
so she knows that, I mean, Marissa's not going to like any princess who comes. She found Alyssa threatening, and Alyssa technically wouldn't have, I mean, qualified to be a bride for Max. But because Alyssa's beautiful and she was getting a lot of attention, and we saw that Max was giving her attention, and he's like, oh, you can call me Max, which is giving Alyssa a lot more grace than Marissa probably ever got, because Marissa's like, I can't even call him Max. But she knows that this Ava girl is now, I think at that point, was she already, yes, she was already announced as that they were
Engagement.
engaged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So Marissa's already not going to like Ava. And she sees Alyssa as, well, the Ava's guards are chasing you. They're looking for you. You're hiding. I'm not going to give them what they want because that's just going to help Ava, and I'm not here to help Ava. So if you have to pick a side, which side are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the person who is technically now engaged to the person that you like, or are you going to side with the person who, I guess, really technically, I mean, even though yes, she is a threat to Max's heart, but Marissa doesn't know that. Marissa's like, oh, you're the princess companion, or you were the princess companion. So yeah, if she has to pick a side, I would assume she's gonna pick Alyssa's side over
Yeah,
Ava.
I'm hoping she's smart enough to know that there's something not adding up, that there's something wrong.
Hmm.
That's what I'm hoping for this girl. I got to give her a little bit of
Yeah.
a brain, even though she can't determine what is a maid and what is a nurse. I'm gonna think that she kind of she knows what's going on.
She couldn't
Don't
determine whether they were a maid or a
don't
nurse.
fail,
That's funny.
don't fail me, Marissa. I have hope in you right now, girl.
Well, and did you just picture like Marissa when she like Marissa said something like what did she say? She goes, okay, they're gone. And then I just picture her like skipping away. Have a good day.
No, okay,
Just
so I took
leaves.
that scene. That's a fun scene. I took that scene as this is why I think she knows something's up. Like, she already knows that, okay, Alyssa's in trouble. She doesn't want to add to the fire. But I took it as like that was her peace offering. Like, okay, they're gone. And then she just walks away, like silently walks away to kind of like
Hmm.
disappear from the situation. I'm telling you, the way I read it, I feel like she knows there's something else. I feel like Marissa's gonna work her way into the group of our group of our friend gang. Like, this is gonna happen. This is what Amanda
Yeah.
wants to see what happens. So,
She's going to
but
turn
she,
from a foe into a friend.
yes, and that is like the best. When I hated you in the beginning, and then I just love you so much. It's gonna happen. I have a feeling. But yeah, we make
That's
it to the
funny.
medical wing. So they made it safely to the
Hmm.
medical wing and everything. And Art gets to look at her hands because Alyssa did bust
Hmm.
up her hands pretty bad. Which now we see that there's dry blood and the handkerchief got stuck to her
Hmm.
hand. And I just like I got the shivers reading that part because in my head I figured they were like slowly pulling it off as like skin was coming off with it too. Like
Yeah.
my brain's like, let's make this gruesome. I'm like, oh
Well,
gosh.
and there was also, did you notice too that Max had like brought in some guards that were pretending to be ill and they were keeping an eye on Alyssa while they were in there? I thought that was actually really clever.
Oh, nice. I missed that part.
So yeah, there was a part in the end of chapter 29 where they make it to the hospital wing and Alyssa says that the hospital was looking more full than it usually does and she noticed a familiar face which I believe was Jonas, which was one of the guards, I think if I'm correct, that brought was bringing Alyssa down to the dungeons after the king said to arrest her because of the whole situation with the queen and the king. And that's when Mateus was like, oh, I'll take her from here. And then, from there, Max comes in and saves the day. But she recognizes one of those people that was in the wing, and that was Jonas. And Mathilde tells her, don't worry, that Max had stationed guards in the wing and they came down with, they were trickling in with like, quote unquote illnesses, but really they were there to protect and watch over Alyssa while she was in there. So I thought that was actually really smart of Max and it was almost like a king strategy.
Yeah. He's learning. He's learning the game. He's all like, my kingdom's clearly not safe right now, neither is the love of his life. So
Hmm. And he has
that's
to act under the radar because his own father doesn't even really believe him at this point. And
oh my gosh, that made me so mad. The
I
father
know.
and then the queen. I wanted to. Oh, the queen.
I was like, no wonder your kingdom is in totally disheveled and in array because you guys don't even know what's going on.
I know. And it took them a couple of days to even figure. Oh, whatever. They all pissed me off. They made me so mad. I
Hmm.
was just like, how are you not going to listen? Like somebody you used to trust so much, and
Hmm.
the whole fact that they went to go check the room and the room was cleaned up really fast. But like, come
Yeah.
on, you guys were
Well,
gone
and
for so long.
yeah, and I remember when that whole scene happened and Alyssa's like, oh yeah, I made a mess because she cut her hands on the mirror as she was trying to escape. I was like, this is going to be really hard for Ava to explain if somebody comes in that room because all Alyssa has to do is say, go check her room. You'll find that it's clearly disheveled. There's a ton of things everywhere and you'll be able to see where I was. Plus, not only that, she's got cuts on her hands. She's got bruises on her wrists, probably on her ankles as well from when she was tied up. So, I mean, I thought, oh, this is going to be an easy proof for Alyssa, but come to find out, Ava's a little smarter than we gave her credit for.
Well, it took the king a couple of days because Max even said by the time I convinced him, like,
Hmm.
guarantee you it was a couple of days. Like, would
Yeah.
it have hurt you that bad to just like go check? Like, hey, man, this is what's happening. I know it's kind of crazy, but let's just get
Hmm.
your name off the list and let's go check your room out.
Well, yeah, because it's like the king could have very easily had said, well, I don't believe that Ava had any involvement in it. And I'm going to prove to you that Ava had no involvement in it. So let's just go, like you said, let's go check it out. And then that way we can check her off the list of people to be suspicious about. But no, he didn't even do that. He was just like, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe
And
you. And I think it is a lot to do with the fact that he's still mad at Alyssa for this fight between him and the queen.
it shouldn't be a fight though. Like it should be an eye opener to have a conversation and like get on the same page with one another. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, these fictional characters, they get us all worked up for no reason.
No,
The
it's like,
situation's not
why?
real. But yeah, we we see Alyssa. She's stuck in this hospital room with her books, going through books after books, and I like how she
Mm-hmm.
finally found a book from Marie's
Mm-hmm.
region, and her
Well,
doctor is from Marie's region, so that was kind of exciting
yeah.
to.
Well, and before that, when she's reading through the books, the only thing that she found was that what will cancel an engagement, because the whole concern is that now that they've been announced to be engaged, that if for some reason the king was to pull back and be like, oh, never mind, my son isn't going to marry, it can cause some type of a war. And so there has to be a way to do this to where they can somehow cancel this engagement without causing a bunch of hostility between all, the kingdoms. And I'm sorry, really quickly, I'm just going to throw this in because it popped into my mind and I want to make sure I throw this out. When Max went to Alyssa, he was going to kiss her and he didn't. And he's like, "Oh, you stupid engagement." I was like, "Kiss her. Kiss her. You just kiss the girl, okay?" I mean, your
No,
father announced the engagement. You didn't get down on your knee. Clearly you love this girl. You know what's going on. There's a lot of betrayal happening. I'm like, ugh, but that's besides the point. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. That just came into my mind. Um, the only way to cancel an engagement, from what Alyssa read, is if there was a pre engagement that happened beforehand. So if he was to get engaged and then he got engaged again, the first engagement cancels out the second engagement. And that was what Alyssa read. And she's like, how is this going to help me? And I'm like, well, maybe this is where the P comes into play. Maybe the P is almost a way of being engaged. I don't know. I just want this P to come back so bad. You know it. I know it. Ugh.
no. I was thinking though, a good way to like end the engagement. See, this is probably why I would never be someone high up because I would just mess everything up because I let my emotions take the better of me. I'd been like, you know what? We're going to check the forest. We're going to check the borders. We're going to check everything that Alyssa just stated. And if I see one person out of place, which would be on the borders, why do you have so many people on the borders? I would consider that you were going to try to take over my kingdom anyways. So all deals are off and it's game on. I would be the one to start the war first, honestly.
Well,
And
that
I'm
would be
holding your
actually,
princess hostage.
yeah, that would
Lock
actually
her
be
in the
really smart. Because it's like, I mean, don't you think an engagement could be canceled if you find out that there was betrayal
Yeah, for
going on? Like
sure.
the other princess was staging some type of an act of war almost. Like I would
And blame
think
it on the
that would be
king.
enough.
I would blame
Yeah.
it hardcore on her dad. I'd be like, you know what? We got beef now. Let's go.
Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I kept, when I read that whole thing where a one engagement cancels out another engagement, I just kept thinking like, what was there something we missed when reading the book? Like, I kept thinking, going back to
No.
all the conversations between Max and Alyssa, and I couldn't figure out anything. I'm like, they
But
are kind of stuck.
they could have a secret engagement between Max and Marie, and then he could be like, "Well, I wasn't allowed to marry her because my mom didn't want her to, but I was secretly engaged to her." And then she's all like, "I
Yeah.
couldn't forbid my family like that, so I had to go," or something like that. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but we
Yeah.
know Marie's coming
Unless it
back
had to be
because
like documented. Like maybe it had to be documented that there was an engagement. And if it wasn't documented, they don't consider it a legitimate engagement.
I thought it. Oh, okay. And
I
then
don't know. I'm throwing that out there. I have no idea.
I'm trying to figure out what they found in the book where Marie is from. And the doctor was all like, "Oh
Me
yes,
too.
it's an old tradition, but very, very much practiced to this day." So I'm like, what is it?
Yeah. Yeah, because Alyssa, all they say is Alyssa found something in the book that she was reading. And I was like, I love that she was reading a book that she didn't think had anything to do with information she might need. And of course it happened to have something to do with Marie and where she's from and all that stuff. And we just know that Alyssa finds something. We don't know what it is. And all of a sudden, it's like she's like, I can fix this. I can fix this problem. But she needs more time. And
I know
what ends
that
up happening?
sucks. Well, it just sucks because the king finally believes her. The queen finally believes Max, but even they were like, we have no way of getting you out of this engagement whatsoever. And the engagement on the wedding day, or not the engagement, the wedding day date belongs to the princess. So what do we
Mm-hmm.
see? We see Ava wanting to push everything up. So she has 10 days now to figure out really how to save Max from this situation. And it probably, how long did it take Marie to even get to Arcata?
Oh, Arcadia.
I think it was like 2 weeks, right? Or like
Yeah, it
it
took
took
some
a
time.
while. So you're gonna take 2
Mm-hmm.
weeks, let's just say it was 2 weeks. You're gonna take 2 weeks to send out this letter, another 2 weeks to get the princess back into the kingdom, and she's like, "I need more time." So I feel like they have to come up with a plan B, or
Mm-hmm.
Max needs to just run
Yeah.
away, but then that would cause war too, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Well, they find out that Alyssa was telling the truth because of what it was Mateus, I think, the guard who originally was going to take Alyssa when the two guards brought her down after the king said to arrest her.
Yeah.
And then
That
obviously Max comes in and yeah, interrupts that whole thing. And but they end up arresting Mateus and he ends up basically blabbing and kind of, I guess, joining their side in a way. He was like, yeah, basically everything that was expressed about Ava and what she wanted to do, her intentions, those are all true. So now they have proof of what Ava was doing. But because the engagement's been announced, it's like now Ava's telling them, like, I'm basically, she's almost blackmailing them. She's like, I won't have my guards and all the people I was going to have come and take over your land. I won't do that. But we're pushing up the wedding and the wedding is going to happen and this is what and that's it. And it's kind of a kind of smart on her part because you do see a lot of like leadership in Ava in a way where I'm not giving the girl credit. I don't care for the girl, I really don't, but she has been taught very well by her father, and you see that she really does want the crown and she's going to do anything she can for it, even be in some fake marriage where there's no lust or love. And yeah, she's going for it. She's going to make her thing happen. But I want to know what it is that Alyssa found.
yeah. Yeah, no, I like the character arc of not arc, what we see in Ava. She is very well trained. We could totally take the interrogator off the list of suspicions. Now, he is not a spy within the thing because he was helping them, unless that's his backstory. But
Uh-huh.
I did like, because in my mind I was playing for Ava, like she probably wanted to get married today, right now, or tomorrow, right then and there. And they're like, for this big of a ceremony, we need more time. So she kind of was forced to pick the 10-day mark only because that's
Mm-hmm.
enough time to get this big wedding. If it was me, I would have been like, I don't need a big wedding. I just need the king, the queen, and Max. That's it
Mm-hmm.
to get married. In all
Yeah.
reality, that's what I would have done. I would have been like, no, I want to do it
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's what's going to happen. And then we could celebrate on another date, like do a real one. But no.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we know like our only options as far as canceling this engagement are if there was if there was a pre-engagement already done, which there hasn't been, so we can take that one off the list. And then whatever Alyssa found. But then I started wondering, do you think Max could just say no? Like they go up to the altar and they're like, "Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" And he's like, "No," because
That would
that's
start a
technically,
war, remember?
yeah, but it's not on the king. The king's like, I did everything I could to make sure that my son would marry this girl. I can't stop him from saying no. I mean, what if he did just say no? What if he said, I don't want to marry her? I
It'll
mean,
be war.
yeah, but then we could go back to what you said, where we're like, this is everything we found out. Now we have Mateus over here who's able to corroborate on our story and tell everybody, look, this is what Ava and her kingdom were willing to do. We were being blackmailed and we didn't want that to happen because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but wasn't there something in the chapters we read where they said that Ava's kingdom won't actually start a war unless they have all the other kingdoms aligned with them to do it. So all we have to
Yeah.
do is make sure that the other kingdoms don't align with them and that they see what was actually happening, because then Ava and her people can't, there's nothing they can do. They can't come after them, and she's not going to be engaged in marrying the prince. So I think it comes down to the fact that they just have to make sure everybody is on their side, and the truth should be on their side. It's just making those people believe the truth.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next few chapters, huh?
Yeah, I
Hopefully.
told that was a crummy place to end, because I was like, well, what did Alyssa find? I want to know what she found. I want
I
to know
wanna
what
know what
this
she found
is.
too. Hopefully it says
And
something and it's not just one of those things that stays secret forever. I know when I
oh,
read stuff, I'm like, wait, they never mentioned what was in the letter, or they never mentioned what was in the book, or they never mentioned of what that person said. And I'm like, it's gonna be in me forever trying to figure it out. So I hope it does, which I'm sure it will explain. But
and
wow,
can I
3
just
chapters
say,
left.
right? Can I just say that the king, like, for knowing that somebody was working against him, and that you have these attacks that are going on in your kingdom and you have people who are working against you, don't you think that he should be suspicious of everybody? He was so suspicious in the beginning of telling Alyssa, like, I want you to check and, tell me if you feel anything out of place and all this stuff. And now she is actually telling him. And all of a sudden his mind is like, well, no, 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 we're just gonna announce the engagement and everything's gonna move forward. The only thing I can think of is that he is focused on maybe the queen's plan. And like, I'm sorry, I'm so disappointed with the queen. Like, Cinderella, if this is you, girl, no. You,
I think though too, his kingdom kind of needs this. Like she has the army, she has money. Like they're clearly struggling. I don't think the kingdom is ready for a war like that either. Now that I'm really thinking about it,
yeah, so maybe his focus is elsewhere. He's not really
but
thinking about that.
maybe the people will actually stand up together, and we just come together as a people to protect our homeland from these people who've
Yeah.
been like totally robbing them, and that's their bandits they should be worried about. So it totally makes sense why they were like in the winter castle this whole time while we have Ava's guardsmen robbing the people itself. So that was kind of like a low blow too. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the people are going to stand up. I know it.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to read it and find out.
Yay.
So we have one more episode. One more,
Oh,
Amanda.
yes. We're doing the 3 chapters. And then we saw that she has a bonus chapter for Max on her website. So we're also going to read that and talk about it too. So
Yeah,
that will be
yeah.
fun.
We are. Did you want to announce the next book we're reading?
The Dead Queen.
We are reading The Dead Queen by Briar
Brie.
Knightley.
Yes. That's exciting.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be a good
Mm-hmm.
one too. Because book 2 is
Yep.
out, are coming out. Something like that.
Yeah. So for all of you listening, we are going to be wrapping up our Princess Companion series, and we are going to be moving on into The Dead Queen by Briar Knightley. If you have not already, you need to check her out. She is on social media. We did do a giveaway with her last month, and we had a wonderful lucky winner who got to win a signed hard copy of the book. And now we are going to be
What?
reading it together. Again, another book neither of us have read. And she's also an indie author, which you guys know we love to support indie authors. So we are super excited to read this book. And yeah, I'm
I'm
ready. Are you?
excited too. I am. I think our next podcast lineup is all indie authors, to be honest with you, for right now. That's pretty exciting. So
Yeah, we did
it's
get
going to be
ahead of
fun.
ourselves for a while. We're like, oh, let's do this one. Let's do this one. And then we're like, okay, we have a long list of podcasts that we're going to be doing on books. Let's wait before we add any more. And yeah, we're going to be going in. We already have, I think, our next 3 or 4 books, 4 or 5, actually. I think it's our next 4 or 5 books already lined up. So yeah, maybe we'll have to do an announcement to get, to get that going so you guys know what to prepare for.
Ooh, yes. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess we'll get to reading. Like Amanda said, we're going to read the next 3 chapters and the bonus chapter of Max's point of view from the Winter Castle. And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add before we head off and get to reading?
No, but we love you guys.
Yes. If you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment, share the podcast with somebody. If you're listening to us on YouTube, or I should say, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and also make sure you guys share that as well with your friends who love to read. And also, if you can, take a quick picture of where you're listening to us on, like what platform, and post it to your story and tag us, because we would love to see where you guys are listening to us and what platform you're listening to us on. We would absolutely love to reshare that. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys go check out Briar Knightley, because again, we are going to be reading her book next. Can't wait. Huge shout out to her. She is absolutely fantastic. The Dead Queen. Make sure you guys go pick up your copy. And other than that, I guess we will see you guys on our next episode and our final episode of The Princess Companion. I'm so sad that we're ending this one, but we may come back with another one of her series soon. So stay tuned for that. But I guess other than that, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.